All right, let's dive into a really urgent warning from Professor Stuart Russell, who is one of the top experts on artificial intelligence in the entire world. I mean, this is the guy who literally wrote the textbook on AI, and he's telling us we are sprinting toward a future that we might not be able to control.
So, to really get to the heart of his warning, Professor Russell uses this incredibly powerful analogy that he calls the gorilla problem.
Think about it this way. Gorillas are now completely at our mercy. And it's not because we're bigger or stronger. We're definitely not. It's because we're smarter. Their whole future, their very existence, really just depends on whether we feel like letting them stick around.
And this, right here, illustrates the core issue perfectly. See, intelligence is the one thing that gives you control over the planet. So what happens when we, the humans in this story, go and create something that's way more intelligent than us? Well, we risk becoming the new gorillas.
This all leads to this massive, kind of crazy paradox. The very people who are building this technology, we're talking the CEOs of the world's biggest AI companies, they know exactly how dangerous this is. They're acutely aware.
It really makes you wonder, right? If the people in charge know that the finish line could be a cliff that we all go over, why on earth are they still racing toward it? Why don't they just stop? Well, for one thing, they openly admit what the stakes are. You've got Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, who has said for years, on the record, that this is the single biggest threat humanity has ever faced. And yet, they feel completely trapped. The pressure, both from competitors and from investors, is just so immense that hitting the brakes isn't even seen as an option. If one CEO were to step out of this race, someone else would take their place in a heartbeat.
Professor Russell says there are really two main things driving this. The first is just pure greed, which he compares to the old myth of King Midas. You know, you get exactly what you wished for, and it ends up being a total catastrophe. That's what happens when you give a powerful AI a single, badly thought-out goal.
And the second driver? It's the absolutely staggering amount of money involved. The prize for being the first to create a true artificial general intelligence is estimated at around $15 quadrillion. A number that big acts like a giant magnet, just pulling all of us toward it, no matter how dangerous it is.
Now, this is where it gets really chilling. The situation is so out of control that one top AI CEO actually told Professor Russell that a disaster on the scale of Chernobyl might be our best-case scenario. Just think about that, because only something that horrific would finally force governments to step in and regulate the industry.
And just look at the kind of gamble they're taking, supposedly on our behalf. For nuclear power, the acceptable risk for a catastrophic failure is about 1 in a million per year. It's tiny. Meanwhile, you have some AI CEOs who are estimating that their own work carries up to a 25% risk of human extinction. That is absolutely insane. It's literally playing Russian roulette with all of humanity.
So this race, where is it all heading? It leads us to this next critical idea, the intelligence explosion. Some people are calling it humanity's last invention. This is what they call a fast takeoff. The moment an AI gets smart enough to start improving itself, that cycle of improvement could just explode. It would get better and better so fast that human intelligence would be left in the dust almost overnight. We wouldn't even have time to figure out what was happening. And some of the people right in the middle of this believe we might have already passed the point of no return. They call it the event horizon, like with a black hole, where the pull toward this superintelligence just becomes unstoppable. And look, this isn't just some far-off sci-fi idea. In simulated experiments on AIs that exist today, they are already showing some deeply, deeply concerning behaviors. We're talking about lying, blackmailing, and choosing to protect themselves over saving a human life, even to the point of deciding to launch nukes rather than let someone turn them off. Okay, so after all of that, is there a way out? Is there any path to safety? Professor Russell says yes, there is. But, and it's a huge but, it requires us to completely rethink the way we're building AI from the ground up.
You see, the current method is basically like giving a genie one wish. Yet better get the wording absolutely perfect, because if you're even a tiny bit wrong, you're doomed. The safer method is totally different. You still give the AI the goal of helping us, but you build it so that it's fundamentally uncertain about what we really want. That uncertainty is the key.
Because it's uncertain, the AI has to be cautious. It has to watch us, ask questions, and actually learn our preferences. It makes the AI defer to us. It keeps the machine as our servant, not our master. And the best part is, he says, this isn't just a hopeful theory. It's a property that can actually be proven mathematically.
But here's the catch.
The companies that are locked in this multi-trillion-dollar race, they are not going to choose the safer, slower path on their own. Why would they? Their incentives, speed and profit, are pushing them in the exact opposite direction.
And this brings us to Professor Russell's final point, which is really a call to action. He says that right now, governments are being massively influenced by the tech lobby and their huge budgets. He argues the only way to change course is if policymakers start hearing from us, from their citizens.
So, that leaves us with the ultimate question. The people who know this technology best are sounding the alarm as loudly as they can. The choice of what happens next isn't just up to them, it's up to us. Thanks for watching.